Okay, so 4 sheep to shear. I think James is going to shear one of the mule lambs. We'll do that at the end. James will do one at the end so you can compare techniques. Techniques.
There's a reason why he has so many followers.
Are we going to... Oh. Just get myself psyched up for this. Me with a hernia as well. Just making sure nobody misses it, giving folk plenty of time to see what's happening. We've obviously changed the time a little bit. We're going to start with a lamb. Let's start with a lamb. Let me loosen up a little bit. Still a bit stiff. I don't know if anyone saw the sheath tossing last night. I overdid it. I'd only planned to use about 50% of my ability, but I had to up it to about 60%. Still plenty left in the tank, but here we go. Little lamb. So, Scottish mule lamb, already been bellied out. Perfect. We would shear quite a lot of these back in the UK. Peeler. A peeler, you would call that. A peeler. So what I'll do is I'll shear, Gareth will do a bit of talking and explaining what's happening. One big thing, I know there's a few of you here that shear your own sheep because getting a shearer in the United States is quite difficult. One thing I will say, a set of shears like this is absolutely fine for, if you're just doing a few sheep. If you're doing a lot more sheep, you want a machine that hangs from the ceiling and takes a lot of the weight off you. This is very heavy, holding this all day. You would burn your arm out pretty quick. But the most common sort of mistake I'm seeing here is the type of comb. So this is a 5mm bevel, which is quite a pointy comb. We'd say that's medium to long bevel in the UK. You guys, if you have sheep like the sheep, if you have sheep like the sheep that we have at the show here, you want a 3mm bevel or a short bevel comb. So when you're buying your gear, you ask for a short bevel comb. It's much rounder, much safer, and especially if you're not shearing a lot of sheep, you can push it a little bit harder without doing any damage. Let's do some shearing.
Shearing's on. Yeah. Has he made any excuses after his supreme win last night? Are the arms all right, Cammy? Yeah, just check them. I'm going to stand back a bit. If they go off again, you don't know when they go off.
Open carries legal here, so it's all good. I keep this one concealed.
Do you understand? We have to live with him. We have to live with him now until next year, till somebody comes back and beats him.
He has to live with him. I have to live with both.
That's a good point, to be honest with you. Okay, so no need to do the belly. It's nice and clean. And we would call this a peeler. And you can see he's going straight into the leg and up towards the tail here. Now Cammy will take a little bit more time just there, and then the big strokes. So you do one stroke or two up the back, Cammy?
Ideally I would get 2 over the backbone, but at least 1 over that spine to make the last bite a bit easier.
And that helps when you're finishing off the sheep, doesn't it? So like you said yesterday on the neck, he's pulling the blade out, and you can see the skin on these are very, very thin and can be easily cut. But he's become, pretty prolific on this shearing machine now, to be fair. Can you see how the wool of a lamb is a little bit different? It's not holding in one fleece. And that's because it hasn't really fully grown. So next time this will be shorn, next year it will have a full fleece on it. And he's coming to the neck and down to the last blows now. This could be in the competition. This could be a sheep shear. Couldn't it, Cammy?
What's that?
A speed shear.
Yes, you would use a lamb like this for a speed shear.
So these are the type of lambs they use for the speed shearing competitions. And some of these boys can knock them out, in 25 seconds, and some are even doing them faster than that. It's important. The mic's gone again. I've got to hold it like this. I feel like P Daddy now. I don't know. He's some rapper from somewhere. Quite cool, actually. There you go. Put your hands together. That is a fantastic shorn sheep by Cammy.
I'll do it. There's some wool. If anyone wants to just have a little feel of how soft that wool is there, I'll just sit some in the middle here. You can have a feel of that wool there. Beautifully soft.
Just 2 seconds, Cammy. I want to
no rush.
Just introduce you to these people.
I need 2 seconds to get my breath back.
Now, nobody's seen me shear since I'm here, but these 2 people have seen me shearing at home.
I have a video.
Introduce yourselves.
John Schwartz.
And Chris.
Now tell everybody what you did when you came to my farm.
We got made fun of by you quite a bit. I did, yes. You tried to teach us commands and whistling. It was pretty pathetic on my part.
And you got to see me shear a sheep with what?
With the hand shears, it was amazing.
So I shear the sheep for the demonstrations with the hand shear. And John was just saying, Cammy, I'm faster with the hand shears than you are with the machine, but hey ho, that's the way it is. You've either got it or you haven't.
No doubt. One thing to say about this breed here, and it's one of the most popular breeds in the UK, certainly in Scotland, is the Scotch Mule. I have maybe 400 or 500 of them, and they produce you a fantastic prime lamb, a fantastic meat lamb. You would cross that with something like a Texel, a terminal sire, a really meaty sire, to produce a fantastic lamb. She'll give you 2 lambs, she'll produce lots of milk, she really is a fantastic animal, easy lambing. And one beautiful thing, if you see some of that wool, one of the beautiful things is it's got a lovely sort of luster about it. It's like the kind of shine on it, and there's a lovely sort of crimp there in the wool. It's a fantastic fibre, and that's because of the blue-faced Leicester, which is the big one up the back there. That's a blue-faced Leicester, and they have the most expensive wool of all the breeds we have in the UK. They have the most expensive wool. It would roughly be, oh, there we go. There's an exact answer. £4.50 per kilo, whereas other breeds, like maybe a blackface, could be 30 pence per kilo or 40 pence per kilo. So it's got Welsh Mountain be even less because it's Kemp, 16 pence per kilo. So blueface, the only thing with the blueface Leicester is she doesn't usually produce that much wool compared to other breeds. But yeah, it shows you the quality. It might even be more expensive than merino wool. I'm not sure on that one. Not more expensive than merino? Okay.
About $15 a kilo.
Oh, is it?
I don't know the conversion rate from.
No, but still more. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, let's do this. We'll do this. What are we doing? The cheat first or the blue? Yeah, just go with that. Let's go with it. Think you can hold on to it? That okay? That okay?
Yeah, beautiful.
Tidy enough. It is beautiful fleece. Beautiful. It's really good. Okay, here we go. If this sheep comes running up into the crowd, it's not part of the act. Please stop it.
I'll be kind, Joe.
You going to tip it up? Thanks, mate. Me with a hernia as well. Oh, jings. Oh, jings.
How are them big guns feeling now, Cammy?
I often wonder how I get myself into these situations. Easy. Okay.
Now, this is a big ewe. So he's got it, he's putting the leg. He's putting the leg behind his leg, getting the right balance on this one. He's going to have to take his time because if she kicks, Cammy's down the road. I hope we paid the sheep enough. Now, back leg, again, straight into them, big blows, and then you can see how quickly that wool's coming off. This sheep is shearing really well as well. Look at how clean it's coming. And then round, over the no tail. I still can't get my head around that they haven't got tails. It's like...
Neither can I.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I just wasn't sure what was happening there at first. I've never shown a sheep without a tail.
Yeah. It's really odd to see a sheep without a tail. And now, up onto the neck. Do you want to talk a little bit about them neck shots for people?
Yeah, so this is always a horrible spot when you're learning to shear sheep, is when you step up the neck here, because the sheep becomes quite uncomfortable. You're going over a tailbone, which is an uncomfortable position. And also you can see, I'm quite a tall guy. This is a big sheep. Even I'm on my tiptoes here on the other side, trying to get up with enough room to get her in between my legs here. When you're doing the neck, always try and straighten the neck out, and just don't be frightened just to flick little bits heading out the way as you head up. Don't try and push in. That's how accidents happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know, if you're learning to shear, it's never about the speed in the beginning. It's all about getting the right position, and holding the sheep is the most important part of it. So the sheep doesn't kick, doesn't get stressed, and you can see how Cammy's stretching that sheep, and when he stretches the sheep, the wool then will be easier to cut because the skin is tight. And the little bits around the shoulder, he's taking his time because again there, the skin itself is very, very thin. He'll go into the longer blows now, once he gets a little bit more, and up behind the head of the sheep. Look at the size of that. Them guns are working. You can see how dangerous they are. Go on, Cammy. Son boy. The big long blows, and now he pulls the sheep. One more, and he'll pull the sheep towards him and start going down the neck. And when he goes down the neck here, he works himself backwards, can you see? It's all about the footwork. Don't look at his feet, by the way. They're a little bit dirty, but it is all about the footwork. And that's what keeps that sheep nice and tight and firm but fair. You know, the sheep's not kicking, it's comfortable. Few more longer blows. He's doing a really tidy job on this sheep. Few more blows. And you see how it's peeling off really, really nice. Oh, she's showing a bit of feistiness there. Don't worry. Cammy's all right. He's been in this position.
It's all part of the act.
It's all part of the act, he says. What kind of job do you think he's done?
He's done an excellent job on this year, especially for choosing I'll show you, and those ones are the worst ones to put on their butts.
There you go. The owner himself has told us they're the worst ones to put on their butts. And fair play to Cammy. That is a tidy job. Hands together, everybody. That's one tidy job, Cammy.
Oh, she stood on my toe.
Oh, she stood on her toe. Give it a few extra cakes when she gets in there. From me.
No photos.
Give it a few.
No photos.
Give it a few treats.
No photos. Cheers, folks. There we go. Big sheep. Big sheep. You'll see I'm starting to sweat pretty hard. And when I shear, even when I'm not in a high pressure situation like this is, back at home, I'll just sweat buckets all day. So you have to take your electrolytes, your hydration salts, and keep hydrated, because then what happens is the sweat, you end up with cramps. Water alone isn't enough. You end up with cramps and problems like that that's going to affect you. It's a brutal game, the shearing, it really is. For us in Scotland, we're very competitive. We have a lot of competitions. When we go out shearing every day, there'll usually be 3 of us, and it's all testosterone. It's all about, you know, that alpha male thing. It's all about who's going to be the top shearer. It's a special thing. That's why James and I don't shear at the same time. We would just get carried away. We do it separate. We'll try this Blueface Leicester now. Fantastic wool here. This is the biggest sheep, I think. Is this bigger? You would say that, it's your sheep. Randy's sheep here. Right, got it. He's a big one. Randy here's been in the Blueface Leicesters for 4 years. Thankfully, James is a big, strong man. He's my hero. Oh, you've done it. I know it's horrible, mate, isn't it? It's horrible.
No, well, when you're on a shearing trail.
I know, yeah. He makes a good point there. Back at home, we would shear on a trailer with a raised race, and the sheep would be up about this height, and there's a little door that trips the sheep up, and it just pops up down on your bum. This takes a lot of effort trying to tip them on the flat like this. Oh! It's all part of the act. It's all part of the act. Girls, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Who was on gate duty? It wasn't me because I had the sheep.
No, but the Welshman, he likes them free range. They don't have gates on the mountain. I'm sure he does a full thing about closing gates. Okay, we'll shear this. I've put it off long enough. Let's shear the sheep. Do you want a hand there? Still doesn't look good.
That was my fault. I didn't put the clip on. I'm always telling everybody to close the gates.
I know.
Please don't film that. Steve, please.
That is the first rule of farming.
I know.
Shut the gate.
It is the first rule of farming. Schoolboy headed by me, but it's all the excitement working with Cammy.
She is a big old...
She's a big old bus.
What weight is she, Randy?
However you want her to be.
250 pounds.
She's 250. They're out again! But I closed the gate!
Oh, they're going under it. They're going under it.
Oh, yeah,
There you go. Take it all back.
Thank gosh for that.
Yeah.
Right. As the staff are getting the sheep back in.
Yes, well done.
Well done.
Okay.
Cammy's getting into this now. So he's not doing the belly, like you see, because the belly's all been done. Straight onto the back leg and over onto the bum. Now it's really important to keep that skin tight. And he'll get onto the tail, and he's doing that very, very slowly, because you can see this one it's got a bit of a tail, this one, hasn't it, Cam? Yeah, it's got a tail. And he'll do 2 blows up the back there now. Is there anybody with any questions for Cammy? Any questions? Here we go. Question 1.
Stepping up the neck. I could chat here just for you, Rick. Stepping up the neck. Want to protect that ear with my left hand here so we don't get it. And then we're just going to lie the sheep down. Nice and gentle. Watching for that loose skin there. Oh, long blows. Stepping over.
The gentleman over there said he was very impressed that you did the North Country that quick.
Is that right? Good.
Was that right? Good. It's going to be hard living with him. Stop making his head bigger.
This is always the hardest bit. This is always the hardest bit when you're doing a big sheep, is working out how you get from here, getting it back up in front of you. So,
do you want to talk people through while you're doing it?
A bit of grunting. It'll just be a bit of grunting.
A bit of grunting?
Yeah, a bit of grunting.
Okay, so while Cammy grunts, you can see where his feet are, and he's moved his foot now to in between, and he's pulling the sheep back in sections. It's all about the footwork and the way where his legs are. You see one leg's over there, and because this is such a big sheep, and Cammy's not a small boy, you can see there's a lot of work dragging that big sheep up. I've got to live with this. He's worse than having my wife with me. And I'm not joking. But no, big blows.
Woo!
Nearly there.
Nearly there.
Go on, Cam.
Come on.
Go on.
You can do it.
2 more, I would say.
Oh. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. 1 more.
Oh.
And she's done. Hands together.
Oh.
That's some job.
Woo.
That's some job. Look at that.
There we go.
That's
there we
brilliant.
go.
Fair play.
Look at that.
That's tidy.
My kitchen table is narrower than that. You could sit and have afternoon tea on that.
Yeah,
it's like a table.
That's a back, mate. That's a back.
Okay, lads, here we go. Yeah. Watch my toes.
You grab that.
You grab that. So this wheel here, you're gonna do something with this wheel, aren't you? Yes. Prospect Speciality Fibre Mill. So your sheep, your wool, you'll go on and do something with this fleece. What will you do with it?
Cut the yarn.
Okay, turn it into yarn. Okay, exciting. Okay, that's good. And as we said, very expensive wool, very high quality wool there that we've done. Now James is going to share this last one for us because it's addictive. That little fear you get shearing sheep in front of a big crowd. It's that little adrenaline rush. It's good, like it's addictive, isn't it? Yeah, okay. You look so happy. Okay.
I caught yours.
You're right. Gareth, can you catch that sheep for me? My dad used to always say, there is no point in keeping a dog and barking yourself. Oh. So does anyone get any questions for us? I'll hold the mic, I'll talk through what James is doing. Does anyone get any questions about shearing? About sheep? We'll answer them. Why do we usually, obviously, I should have said at the start, part of the reason I don't have my moccasins on is my case didn't make it here, as many of you will know. So the reason we wear moccasins, it gets you nice and low to the ground, so you don't have as far to reach. It keeps your ankle free, so you can roll your ankle, because it's all footwork. And it makes your feet as small as they possibly can be. I've got size 12, US 13 feet, so they're big, clumsy feet when you're trying to be nimble around like a little lamb. The moccasins reduce them in size, and the final reason is they look amazing. And that's probably the main reason too. Yeah. So James is going to share this one. Oh, I don't want to play this game anymore. Okay, so James was telling us yesterday, now I've been shearing for about 11 years. James has been shearing for about 30 years. He reckons he's shore about 250,000 sheep, 250,000 sheep. I've only shore 100,000. So he's way ahead of me. But as I said yesterday, the real question is, what has he done with all the money? Where's it all gone? What are you going to say? Spent it on cigarettes? He enjoyed it.
I spent most of it on beer and cigarettes and the rest are wasted.
He said, I spent most of it, I spent most of it on beer and cigarettes. The rest I just wasted. Good. Yeah, I like it. A very good George Best quote there, I believe. Is that right? Is that a George Best quote? Yeah, I like that. Good old George Best. Okay, so stepping up the neck here, you see how he puts his foot forward, stretches up the neck. Taking his time, you're close to that windpipe there. Take your time, turns it round. And then if you watch here what he does with his left hand, he comes round and he covers that ear. Because it's very easy to catch that ear when you're shearing. So it's far better to bounce the comb off the back of your hand than to cut that ear. So you cover that ear and work round, and you'll start to lower that sheep down. It's always a little bit more awkward for big guys to shear little lambs. Not that you look awkward, mate. Going great. So onto the long blows here. Very simple, long blows. It's the longest blow of the sheep. You're taking the most wool off with every stroke. Combing really nice here. I've got to give a thanks to Emily, who was our reserve overall champion of the show, for providing us with some blades. She's represented the USA in the hand shears. Oh, we missed a trick. We should have had Emily doing one with the hand shears. That would have been good. Oh wait, she's run away. Come back.
One of them chivvy news back out.
Yeah. We should have had Emily doing the hand shears. That would be good. So he's just turning it around there so everyone can see. Working down this last side. In the UK, I would be looking to shear somewhere in the region of 300 to 400 sheep a day. So I would hope to do 300 to 400 sheep per day. I would be charging the farmer £1.65 for that. So that's somewhere, it's just under $2 per sheep. So it's a fantastic income. sheep shearing is a very good way to make money in the United Kingdom. But the farmer is only going to get maybe 50, 60 pence for his fleece, so it's a massive loss. We only do it for the animal welfare. Or for a bit of fun at a sheep show. So last couple of blows, here he goes. Finish it up, James. Job done. Round of applause, folks. Good on him, James. Well done, mate. Job done. Here. Yeah, you made it, mate. Good man. Good man. Okay, so does anyone have this? Do we have any people shearing their own sheep and wants to ask a question? Or yes?
If that fleece had been left till it was a year old, would it have held together more?
Yes, good question. So if the lambs hadn't been shown there and had been left to grow into a 1-year-old, we'd call it a hogget. Do you call it a hogget? What do you call it here? A yearling. That makes sense. Hogget makes no sense at all. So if you left it grow until it was a yearling, yes, that fleece would bind together. We do shear quite a lot of lambs in the UK. It's probably beneficial for you guys here if you're going to have heat like this in September into October. It would be worth shearing your ewe lambs early, just to obviously, especially if they go in the barn for the winter, it's definitely worth shearing them. And we do it a lot in the UK. But yeah, if you'd left that grow to full length, it would have stuck together better. There is some, lamb's wool has good value as well. It's very soft, you know, there is a lot of applications for lamb's wool. Any other questions? Yes?
Why shear in the summertime? Is it because the weather's better?
Yeah, so asking why we do the shearing in the summer. But a couple of reasons. It's obviously that the weather is better, and it's far better to get the fleece off when it's 24 degrees outside rather than we work in Celsius when it's whatever this is in Fahrenheit, when it's like that as opposed to when there's snow in the ground. But another factor as well is, actually the main reason we do it in the summer is because the sheep gets what's called a razz in the wool, and that comes from she stops growing her wool when she's going through the hard time of that final stages of gestation, of carrying her lamb. Then obviously having the lamb is a difficult time. She's then putting everything into producing milk for that lamb. So, you know, her body's undergoing a real stressful time. Her wool stops growing for a period. And then what happens is the spring grass comes. There we go. James has got an example of the rise there. The spring grass comes, and the sheep gets, you know, all of a sudden she gets what we call like a thrive. You know, all of a sudden she's not putting as much energy into the milk. She can start looking after herself again. And what you get is a rapid shoot of wool that's actually weak fibre. And that lets your blades go in and comb that, and you cut that wool. That's why if anyone's got sheep and tried shearing, if you try to do them like midwinter when the wool's like binded into them and it's all yellow and horrible, that's why. It's because that wool's set there and the sheep's not on the thrive, and it's very difficult. Whereas for us in the UK, they all get that thrive, and it makes it a doddle, really easy. Your blades last for a long time, and it's just a pleasure to do. Any other questions?
Ideally, what should a farmer do to prepare for the shear to come to his farm?
Oh, good question. Yes, good question. So the question was, what should a farmer do to prepare for the shearer coming? The big one, the really important one, well, that isn't important. Getting some beers in is important, but that is desperately important. But the sheep should be standing empty. They should be standing in a pen with bedding. So sometimes you'll go to places, they'll put them in a hard standing yard like this to empty it out, but they won't put any sawdust down. So the shearer's got to deal with, shitty feet and all that, and it ends up on their face and everywhere, and it's just a mess. So empty sheep is the biggest thing. You want them empty, you want them clean, and ideally if they've got dirty bums, you cut the bums, but I know not everyone's physically able to do that. And to be fair, in the UK, we don't really bother. If the farmer hasn't done it, it doesn't really bother us, to be perfectly honest with you. Within reason. But yeah, empty sheep is the biggest one. And ideally in the shade, if you can. But I think you guys are quite good at getting your shearers inside. We shear a lot, outside a lot in Scotland. It's terrible. Anyone else? Yes?
At what age do you start training the younger ones to shear? Because I know you're always showing your kids everything.
Yeah. So just asking what age do you get the kids into? I mean, as soon as possible so I can stop. when they're physically able, I think would be the main thing. You know, you can't do a course in the UK until you're 16.
I was 12 when I learned.
So James was 12 when he started. He's obviously a early developer, which is great when you're young, but when you turn 30 and you look like that, it's not so great. You wouldn't believe he was only 30. A hard life. So yeah, when they're physically able to do it, and don't sicken anyone, you know, start them, don't make them overdo it, just little bits, you know, encourage them. It can be it's a fantastic way to make a living. My partner, and it's not just for the boys, my partner, Lizzie, she was, before COVID actually, she was a full-time professional shearer, travelling the world, New Zealand, Australia, Norway, Scotland, England, all these places shearing sheep. Making, you know, she'd be making upwards of like £60,000 a year, just travelling around. Very little expenses because you get obviously food and digs where you are. As long as you don't spend it all in. A lot of shearers spend it on beer and fags, to be fair. But Lizzie wasn't that bad. So yeah, it's a great way to make a living. Any other questions? All good? No, well, thank you very much, folks. I think we are just. Thank you. We are just going on to do a talk. I think I'm going to talk about sort of my farm back at home and a bit about my YouTube and things like that down in the main building down there. So we're doing that for 1 o'clock. I don't know what time it is now. Getting close. But thank you very much. Cheers, folks. Thank you. What time is it? 10 minutes.